Welcome! Today we're making a classic holiday treat, eggnog. This rich, creamy drink is perfect for cozy nights by the fire or holiday gatherings. So, let's gather our ingredients and get started on this delicious seasonal drink. Alright, let's get started with the ingredients for our eggnog. We'll need 6 large eggs, separated into yolks and whites. Next, grab 3/4 cup of sugar to sweeten things up. For the creamy base, we'll use 2 cups of whole milk and 1 cup of heavy cream. To add some warmth, measure out 1/2 teaspoon each of ground nutmeg and cinnamon. We'll also need a teaspoon of vanilla extract for flavor. If you're making a boozy version, have 3/4 cup of dark rum and 1/2 cup of brandy on hand. Lastly, don't forget some whipped cream and cinnamon sticks for garnish. Let's get cooking. First, we need to separate the eggs. Grab your 6 large eggs and crack them carefully, putting the yolks into a large mixing bowl and the whites into a separate bowl. Set the whites aside for later. We'll be using them to make the eggnog nice and frothy just before serving. Now take the yolks you just separated and whisk them together with 3/4 cup of sugar. Whisk until the mixture becomes smooth and creamy. You'll notice it starts to lighten in color as you whisk, and that's exactly what we want. This process helps dissolve the sugar and gets the yolks ready for the next step. Next, grab a medium saucepan. Add 2 cups of whole milk, 1 cup of heavy cream, 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Place the pan over medium heat and warm it up gently. You'll want to heat this until it's just about to simmer. Tiny bubbles should form around the edges, but don't let it boil, or you'll risk curdling the eggs. Now we'll temper the eggs, which means gradually raising their temperature so they don't scramble when we mix them with the hot milk. Take a small amount of the warm milk mixture, maybe a 1/4 cup, and slowly pour it into the egg yolk mixture while whisking constantly. This gently heats the yolks. Once that's mixed in, gradually add the rest of the milk mixture while continuing to whisk. With everything combined, pour the mixture back into the saucepan and place it over medium-low heat. Stir constantly with a wooden spoon or spatula as it gently thickens. We're aiming for the mixture to reach around 160 degrees Fahrenheit, which ensures the eggs are cooked properly. You'll notice the mixture becomes slightly thicker and coats the back of your spoon. When it reaches this point, take it off the heat and stir in the vanilla extract. Now that the eggnog is cooked, it's time to cool it down. If you're adding alcohol, this is where you'll stir in 3/4 cup of dark rum and 1/2 cup of brandy. Let the eggnog sit at room temperature until it cools off a bit, then pop it in the fridge for at least 2 to 3 hours to chill completely. The cooler it gets, the better the flavors will come together. Once the eggnog has chilled, it's time to finish it off by whisking the egg whites. Whisk them in a clean bowl until they reach soft peaks. This adds that signature frothiness to the drink. Once the whites are fluffy, gently fold them into the chilled eggnog mixture. This gives it a light, airy texture. Finally, pour the eggnog into glasses, and to make it even more special, garnish with a dollop of whipped cream, a sprinkle of nutmeg, and maybe a cinnamon stick for a festive touch. Now you're ready to enjoy your homemade eggnog. And lastly, let's talk about a few tips to make sure your eggnog turns out perfect. First, egg safety is key. Make sure you use fresh eggs, and if you're concerned about using raw eggs, go for pasteurized eggs, or make sure to heat the eggnog mixture to at least 160 degrees Fahrenheit. This will kill any bacteria and make the eggnog safe to drink. For a smooth texture, consider straining the eggnog through a fine sieve after you've cooked it. This will catch any tiny bits of cooked egg and give you a silky finish. If you find the mixture too thick, you can always thin it out by adding a little more milk or cream. When it comes to sweetness, adjust the sugar to your taste. If you like a sweeter eggnog, feel free to add an extra 1/4 cup of sugar. Prefer it less sweet? You can cut it down by a 1/4 cup. If you want to make the eggnog non-alcoholic, simply skip the rum and brandy. You can add a touch of vanilla extract for extra flavor to compensate. Lastly, for make-ahead convenience, you can prepare eggnog a day in advance. Letting it sit overnight actually improves the flavors, so it's a great option if you're prepping for a party. Just make sure to give it a good stir before serving to mix everything back together. Now enjoy your homemade eggnog.